than just a competition of athletes. This is a competition of training methodologies. It is the sport of fitness.
We claim to title the fittest on earth, and we can do that because we as a fitness methodology have defined fitness.
And Rich Froning is the fittest man on the planet.
The men and women competing here today have legitimate claim to the title fittest men and women on earth by the same rights and logic that the Lakers, the Steelers, the Penguins, and the Phillies are the best basketball team, football team, hockey team, and baseball team on earth.
No one else is testing fitness, and at this point, no one can make a claim.
People that just come into CrossFit are like, oh, next year I'm going to the games. Kids don't go shoot free throws and think, oh, I'm going to the NBA next year.
There are people that say that this isn't a test, that there are people out there fitter than the people competing here today. Great, prove it.
As the crowd races to their feet.
You guys are for his final stretch.
Dan is flying.
And she is right to work on that
The
slate.
energy in here is electric.
It's going to be Sam Briggs.
John Brennan gets ahead of him. Oh my goodness.
I got chills.
Dude.
I got chills so bad. You know what's crazy? Like we know how it's growing and everything, but those shots from Carson just look so phenomenal.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, so good. Welcome to Get With The Programming, everyone. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
Along is me, it's Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
And we have Mr. John Young.
I don't hate what you do. I just hate what you look like.
John has some breaking news with the balloons.
Wow,
actually.
that was
John,
good.
Would you like to
I'm an announced grid athlete. I'll be on the Houston Bandits. It's official.
Oh my gosh.
We are doing
Dang.
it. About to light the world on fire. I did not get canceled.
that
Wow.
that deserves some organ music for
Dang.
Dear Grid.
How
I want to thank you guys for giving John Young a second chance. A second chance of
he's
redemption.
repented.
That you kept the faith in Mr. J.Y. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Putting grid on the map, Mr. John Young.
You know what?
Steve Austin was for WWE. It's what I'm about to do with grid. I'm going to make so many enemies.
What you're
love
gonna
doing
do is you're gonna pull so many people to watch it, though, dude. I know that they were pissed at the things that were said. Like I get it, but it's gonna make people watch.
I personally don't get it, but it is what it is.
Well, the fact that people got pissed at what you said. I mean,
Yeah.
you're right. I agree with what you're saying, but the fact that it was just like firing people up it on either side will cause people to watch. Because they either want to see it or they want to see you just get murdered by somebody.
Yeah, I really hope we're good. It's gonna suck if we're bad. But if we're good, I'm gonna be so obnoxious about it.
Are you gonna be the heel of the team?
I feel like I already am.
All right, well then just are you gonna do like face paint like who's that linebacker in the program that would like paint the skull on his face for the football games?
I was on Ray Lewis, and then you took the program and took me away.
Yeah, or the cross eyeliner.
Yeah.
Something.
I don't know. I feel like I want to try to make my own shirt to take it off, but like to wear it the whole time. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Not JY Barbell, but.
Or do the old Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that hurt me. Did y'all see that today? Did y'all see that? It hurt. It hurt my feelings. It really did. Because I know he knows who I am, and he didn't have to say that. It was
funny.
nothing. But no,
Latimer. Yes, thank you, PC.
My goal is to clean 405 in 6 weeks.
God,
And I'm going to try to get as strong and as freaky as possible for this.
I like it.
Still going to do the open, still trying to be fit, but I'm not necessarily worried about, being over 200 pounds or anything like that. So
Dense updates. I'm playing nice until Christmas is over. The gloves are off after that. Yes, I recommend everybody putting their knives away for this episode. This is not going to go like you guys think it is. Everyone's been so testy on
the comments that were on the post.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys.
Did you even read?
Like everyone, like I was shocked. I was shocked of how
I wasn't.
I was. I because I just didn't think. I was like, I would have thought like, oh, okay, let's see what this is. Not everyone instantly had their opinion on what it is and what's happening and the issues and bam, like that.
Yep.
How dare you think anything other than
dare
me?
you?
How dare you? I don't want to have a discussion. I'm
Yeah.
tell it like it is.
Hey, Bill, that's a nice shirt.
Hey, I like your shirt. Where'd you get that?
This whole thing?
Oh, this whole thing.
Gosh. I'll have to admit, these All-In shirts are just as great as I thought they were going to be in person. They are a little. I'm no longer a large.
How much you weigh? How much you weigh?
Oh, do they run small?
I would say size up, but like this is a large. I'm an XL guy now.
How much do you weigh?
I think I'm 215.
Okay. See, so I'm like 195. I'm a large.
Yeah.
I'm right in the middle of that.
Yeah. In my competition days, I was 195.
The sweatshirts run small. Like the t-shirts aren't bad. They're like, American Apparel-ish type deals, like that kind of cut, that slim kind of cut. So depends what you want. If you're like the Bryson kind of guy, you need to get like a quadruple, extra large.
Maybe a triple.
Then maybe. But
can you tell me what were people so mad about?
I don't know.
What had people up in arms?
I don't know. I could go through the comments.
I think we should go through some of the comments.
Let's go through the comments. I don't really read them anymore these days because they're just getting so fun.
Was this your latest post?
Yes.
Well, it started off that.
The Camille post?
No.
No, it was the story post.
This
like
one?
That one. Yeah. It started there.
Yeah, I said only the CrossFit Games can claim to find the fittest on earth. That's just a fact.
And how can anyone dispute that? If for that, and I think, Chase, we got to start right there. We got to start with that is because every sport has their whatever it is that they're trying to win. Like, what is the win? You're getting across the line the fastest, so you're saying you're the fastest. Or you get, the ball into the hoop more times, so you're winning that game. We are the only one. CrossFit is the only workout methodology that came up with the definition of fitness. So if we are utilizing that, how can anyone argue with that? I don't understand.
And when I said no other events can, I'm not being negative. I'm being supportive of CrossFit and the CrossFit Games. And I said, let these other leagues professionalize fitness and more power to the athletes chasing the payday. Like, I celebrate your opportunities to do that. Right? That's what we're doing. CrossFit defined fitness, defended fitness, and we'll continue to perfect fitness because that is CrossFit. That's what we do. It's what we did. And we prove that every single day in affiliates and then at a higher level for fun at the CrossFit Games. And I said, everyone else is playing in the sandbox that CrossFit created.
I think you probably struck a lot of nerves on that last sentence.
All right, but like,
I don't think anybody would have bad comment. I don't think there would be bad comments on here if it weren't for that last sentence.
But that's not. But here's the thing.
I don't think you're wrong.
Where the lie is.
No, I'm not saying there's a lie.
Right.
But
would there be a grid without the CrossFit Games?
No.
Would there be high rocks without the CrossFit Games?
Strong women aren't pretty. But people get upset when you say such facts. It's just the truth.
The thing is that the sandbox was created by that. Every other competition is trying to get their little piece of the pie of that exact same sandbox. The same competitions. We're going to do thrusters and burpees, and we're going to do pull-ups, and we're going to do whatever. At least with grid, when Tony was putting that together originally, Tony Budding, he knew that it wasn't going to be CrossFit. He knew that he wanted it just to be another race, to be purely entertainment. Not to find the fittest. Had nothing to do with to find the fittest. Because if you talk about fitness, then you can't have a specialist.
Right. We defined it. We have
great.
It.
The grid is opposite of that.
Yeah. But like, hey, go grid.
But yeah, totally.
Do
you are, John. You're in there.
John's doing it.
Yep.
Do it. Right?
Yes. I'm not fit, but I'm very good at a couple things.
Do high rocks. That's great. Right? If you want to do this new World Fitness Project, go do it. Go get yours. Go to Dubai. Go to Rogue. Go to Wadapalooza twice. Go do those things. Why? Because it's an outlet for what you want to do with your competitive life. If that's what you want to do, please go do that. And then when you come to the game season, it is the game season. It's that for a reason. It is an open opportunity for people to prove that they are the fittest person in the world. And it's the most basic entry to the most elite finale and everything in between. and people love it. And so if someone got upset about you're just playing in the sandbox CrossFit created, you are. So is Orange Theory, so is F45, so is Barry's Boot Camp. All of these boutique gyms, all the gyms that are functional fitness or community fit, they only exist because of what Greg Glassman created. That's it. That's just the truth. And if that upsets you, then you need to do some internal, this isn't meant to be controversial.
Well, I think what people get rubbed the wrong way is because by saying that, they're taking it as you're talking down, you're belittling whatever it is that they're doing. You're belittling the Dubai Fitness Championship. You're belittling the
but they're not trying to find the fittest person.
Morad's
have a bias or
fitness
skew to
project.
one thing.
Yeah,
go ahead, Bill.
I was just gonna say, I just think that's they want to say that they're not CrossFit, but they want everything that CrossFit says that it is, and you can't have both. Like, pick the thing that you're going to be. If you're going to be the World's Fitness Project, okay, then you'll be the World's Fitness Project champion.
Yeah.
But you can't be the fittest on earth because that's not what you're not doing CrossFit. If you're not doing CrossFit, then you can't find the fittest.
Right. That's it.
It's like saying that I'm doing the Boston Marathon here in San Luis Obispo because I'm running 26.2 miles, but I'm not doing the Boston Marathon. I'm just running 26.2 miles.
Right. There's a mystique with that. There's a thing, like, I won the Boston Marathon. I ran 26.2 miles really, really fast.
Right.
The fastest man in the world is given to the person who wins the 100-meter dash at the Olympics, not at the World Championships. You don't get the title of fastest man on earth all but one time every 4 years.
The world's strongest man does not get that title if he wins Rogue Invitational, but not the world's strongest man. And they're like way beneath the CrossFit. Like, CrossFit Games still pays the highest. Now, let's say World Fitness Project even comes out with more money. World's strongest man compared to the Rogue Invitational for strongmen, it's like a fifth or a fourth. It's way less than what they make at Rogue Invitational. Rogue Invitational is a way bigger competition for the strongmen in the world.
Right.
It's still not the title of the world's strongest man.
Exactly. And what we're saying here, before anybody freaks out, we are saying, this whole conversation is exactly what the title says, is I think there's been too much of a push to have the CrossFit Games professionalize like other sports. And it wasn't as much internal, and I think that's where the frustration became external, is that it wasn't happening as fast as they wanted or as much as they wanted, right? It was always like the prize purse for semifinals or the prize purse for regionals is so low relative to like Wadapalooza. It's like, yeah, there's one of those a year. There's 9 of these every year. What are we supposed to do? Right? And
what do you think? I didn't mean to cut you off there. What do you think that means that the sport needs to be professionalized? Like, we say that all the time, and that has become one of the, and at least in our space, one of the biggest buzzwords when it comes to CrossFit and the sport of CrossFit, the CrossFit Games, professionalizing the sport.
Right.
What do you think that means when people are saying that?
I think the ones that are saying it the loudest just want the athletes to make a good living doing what they're doing.
So that they want to be able to survive and live off of that. You know what's crazy? Think about all the Olympians.
It's an amateur.
I mean, granted, like, the best of the best they have, you see, all the commercials and all that. Like, I get all that.
Right. You get your
But
sponsor.
generally speaking, the vast majority of those athletes, like, it's hard to be an Olympic athlete.
Yes.
You don't have a nice house. You don't have nice cars. You're probably living with your parents, or you're living in some little shack thing because all you do is you train. And then you somehow get yourself over to the Olympics, wherever that might be, spending whatever money to do that, so that you can chase the dream of not the money, but the Olympic medal.
Right.
Not even the world champ. Like, the worlds are every year. The Olympics is every 4. And that's what people will empty their life for that one shot.
Yes.
And that is
Susan nailed it. That's what they want. They want to make more money because they want to be treated like professional athletes, which is fine. But the problem is I don't think the games should be doing that as a priority because it never started out to be that. It started out like that clip from Greg Glassman he started the show with was to open the CrossFit Games. The very first one, or was that 2008?
I think it was actually 2000.
All right.
It was the first CrossFit game.
No, I know it was 2007. I wasn't sure when he made it. Maybe that was like his first opening speech of.
I think it was 2008 that he actually did that.
Great. All right.
Because they realized it was like, hey, it's not a barbecue.
All we're trying to do is find the fittest on earth. We are not trying to be like the NFL and have a collective bargaining association to make sure everybody gets paid. Like, that's not the point of the CrossFit Games. It never was meant to be something professional. The CrossFit Games had a purity to it when it started. And it's like, we are just trying to find the fittest person on the planet using the best fitness methodology on the planet. And now we have a games to prove our point and to stake our claim. And like Greg said, if you believe you're fitter, prove it, because this is the only path to the fittest person in the world. And we've gotten away from that. And I think the pressure of trying to do the right thing by making it more professional, and all that ended up doing, and we said this on a couple episodes ago, where it got harder and harder to make the CrossFit Games, and then it got harder and harder to make semifinals. And that bar just kept raising from the elite to the base, which was the open. And there was now this huge disconnect between the community and the games athletes. And it was never like that in the beginning because it was never about trying to make it as elite as possible. Everyone had an equal opportunity to go to the CrossFit Games every single year. They had 5 weeks in February to do it. After that, it was everyone had an equal opportunity. They had 5 weeks to prove it, another destination, regional semifinals to get there, and then they had the CrossFit Games, and that's how we defined it. And then I think it was the overreaching thing. You see some of these big competitions try to do, or even like affiliate owners. Like, I'm just going to buy like $50,000 worth of equipment and then 15,000 square foot gym. We're just going to blow it out. I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, I think it's
as they're going for the chic in Dubai.
Right, right. I think that they lose that guiding light of what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
The goal of the CrossFit Games is to find the fittest on the planet. The goal is not to enable 50 men and 50 women and maybe some teams to where they have a lifestyle, a job where they are a professional CrossFit athlete where that's what they do. That's not that. Like even if you're looking at, and we always, and we've all been involved in it. Well, it's like golf. It's like, it's like whatever, NASCAR racing. We want to put together a Grand Prix of whatever, because I just think that we were trying to find a sport that we could slot into and then mimic those things.
Which I think is the biggest mistake.
Exactly, because we don't do that.
No.
We don't have that. And I know that everyone likes to throw like the decathlon thing at us, but the CrossFit thing is almost like it's its own entity. Like decathlon is an event within track and field, right. But we are our event within CrossFit. It's like you aren't an event within CrossFit. Like you just are that. It's just that one thing, which is outside the line of all these other things that you're trying to, equate it up to. And the harder and harder and harder that we tried to do that, because it does look cool. The idea of it is awesome. And as an athlete, who doesn't want that? I mean,
sure. I mean, how hard they work on a daily basis. And we said this before, is like, I believe CrossFit Games athletes train harder or as hard as any professional athlete in any sport.
Totally. They work hard, man, hours.
Yeah,
hours.
You're not in the NBA. You're not in the NFL. To expect some type of like career path like that. Go back to what you said, is like, this isn't golf. This is Olympic at best, right? You are just chasing a physical dream, right? The gold medal at the Olympics is worth more to you as an athlete than the amount of money you can siphon off the USA Track and Field Committee or USA Swimming or whatever. And that to me is the title of the cross. Like, people want to be that's why people, like, we all first started. We started getting competitive. It was like, I want to go to the CrossFit Games. I want to fight for that spot. That was it. That was the dream. It wasn't like, oh, I want to win my regional to make what? I want to get to top 10 at the games to make it. Like, that was never a thing. Right? And then that became the thing. Like, what's this? What's the prize purse? What's that? I was like, man, you got to get away from that. And that's why I'm excited to see some of these new fitness leagues come out. Right?
Do you think it's the athlete's fault?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
athletes and
I don't. I don't think it's solely the athlete's fault.
I think it's a collection.
Right. Because there was, I mean, dude, we were all
Not all
involved
on
in
the
that.
athletes.
I think that watching, you know, with Dave in there in the early days of the games, I mean, we were sitting at like the very front end
Tony wanted to do
of
it.
something that
That's why he
was
started
going to be
Grid.
great. I mean, that like they had all of this idealistic potential of being something major. I think what's happened as of late is the athletes still think that way, like they should have had these things already put into play, that there already was, and that there needs to be a bargaining unit that they're gonna. It's like, man, okay, all of the other big sports, if you're talking franchises and all, like there's money coming in based on the fact that they have these, you know, couple times a week or once a week games, that all this merchandise is going out and all these tickets and all these things. That's why their amount of money that those athletes get is so high.
Yeah.
Because of those things. What is happening to these things? Like the vendors can barely cover their costs to get there, let alone making enough money to where they're going to get, you know, put a whole bunch of money for these athletes. So it isn't as easy as everyone wants it to be. Like, well, I'm a professional athlete. I'm not saying that you don't work hard. You do. Like, I get it. It's not a money equals the effort that you put in.
Right.
But there are thousands of Olympic level athletes,
Right.
the best in the world, that get shit money. And I'm talking shit money.
Yeah.
Wrestling in
I was just about to say
America for the longest time.
Right.
Pick a non-glorified sport at the Olympics.
Yeah. How about the oldest one that's still
And we're
non-glorified?
talking about the Olympics, right? The Olympics, like CrossFit Games, is an afterthought of an afterthought compared to the Olympics. Right? Like, that's it. Just for me, like I'll biasly, like, I love the Olympics. I love the Olympics. And nobody gets anything there.
Nothing. Well, I mean,
what do you win? What is the prize purse for winning the 100-meter dash at the Olympics?
It depends on the country. Each country pays at a different rate.
No. I'm not talking about the countries. I'm talking about from the Olympics.
They don't pay you anything.
They don't pay. Right.
Exactly.
I mean, you're hoping for all the residual stuff.
Okay.
Right?
Proving my point.
No, 100%. I get it. I get it.
Does not need to be fronting that.
But
anymore.
the other, no. They don't. They don't at all. And the other thing that you have to think about is just like in CrossFit, like who are the ones that are making money? The
Very
top
few.
couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you know, whoever has like some massive Instagram following, whatever, so they could be a social media, whatever.
Right.
But at the Olympics, it's the same thing. It's the best sprinter. It's the best gymnast. It's the best swimmer. Not the one that's fourth and fifth.
Nope.
They don't make shit.
Nothing.
And maybe they're sponsored by, like the swimmers are sponsored by Tier or Arena or Speedo or whoever. But so they get some extra like suits for free.
Yep.
And maybe they get some travel money. But it's the same thing.
And that is the best thing. It's the most real emotion that comes with chasing greatness. And that's what the games were for a very long time. And so what I would like to see, and this is where people need to like just listen, is that these new leagues coming out, right? I feel like when the World Fitness Project came on board, it was promoted as a rival to the CrossFit Games. And I don't know where that came from, who said it. Maybe it was just like said once. I think that's where the biggest mistake is. Like, it's not. It won't be ever. Why? Because there's only one CrossFit Games. There's only one Fittest on earth. That's it. That is the thing. And what these other leagues can be is they can subsidize these athletes' careers on a professional level so that they can chase the dream of the CrossFit Games. They won't overtake the CrossFit Games. And then the CrossFit Games can stop worrying about who they have to take care of and what they're supposed to do on a professional level and just go right back to what they did the best for so long. And that was Opens, qualifying stage, whatever name you want to give it, and the freaking CrossFit Games, and just make that as awesome and kick-ass and legit as you can possibly make it, like it had always been. And these other places are just opportunities for these athletes to professionalize their own careers. It is not the CrossFit Games' responsibility to subsidize these athletes' lives. It is to give them a platform to do it, right? It's not the Olympics' job to pay and subsidize all of these athletes' careers from around the world. They are giving them a platform to make something for themselves and allow them to chase a dream they've had since they were kids. That's it. And I think all these other leagues, as long as they don't, get too out of their skis of what they're trying to do, right? Don't come at the CrossFit Games and say like you're doing something better. Saying you're providing more opportunity for athletes to continue their professional dream.
Who do you think? And this might be kind of a facetious question, so I apologize if it seems
Right,
like that.
my favorite word.
I know I kind of had to throw that in there. Who do you think cares more? And it's actually an honest question. Who do you think cares more about the money? The winner of the CrossFit Games or the person that takes like 8th?
The winner
cares more about the money?
Because
do you think they're in it for the money, or do you think that they're in it because they want the title?
I mean, can it be both?
It's kind of loaded.
Okay. Well, let me ask this then. Do you think that those guys would compete if the money wasn't there?
I honestly think we should do that a year and just see what happens. Maybe not this year, but like whenever we're thriving and not surviving, I think they'd be like, hey guys, no prize money this year. We're just going to see who's the fittest man and woman on earth. We'll cover your travel and then see who shows up.
I agree with what Nick says. I mean, I can see Colton thinking that. He's like, I don't give a shit about the money.
Well, Colton said on the podcast, like, they could take away all the money if they like just paid for travel or like a nice hotel.
Dude,
I would be all about it.
Fly them in, set them up, pay for everything.
I mean, that's what we do with Taylor versus the world. And then the winner gets money at the end.
That is a good question.
Winner. You know what I mean? Nobody else. Only reason I say that is like, I feel like Matt was in it for the money, but he also wanted the title. I don't.
When he started, okay. Now don't talk about like the fifth.
Like
very first
year. 2013. He goes, I went every weekend and I made $500, and I could make I could buy food or have a living. I didn't have to work a job. I just did a competition every other weekend, and I'd have $500 here, $1,000 there, and then it just kept growing.
But do you think that was because? Games. But do you think he?
I think
do you think he was doing it?
Was the only year he did not care about the money.
Yeah, because he wanted.
I think he could win. I see that a little bit different.
Good.
I think that was just kind of nice that it happened that way. That's why he stayed in, because like, I'm making $500. Sweet, so I don't have to do this other job, whatever the other job is.
Right. I'd rather do this. In 2014, he was dedicated. He wanted the title. He wasn't just there to have a good time and just see what happened.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying I think he wanted to win. I mean, he was an Olympic lifter.
But no, he wasn't.
His parents were Olympians. Like
yeah,
the
but
guy
I'm saying it wasn't his
life. What's that?
It wasn't his life. The title of the world's fittest man was not what he
in 14.
Yeah,
right.
And then 15, I think he expected it.
Yep.
Probably just had the same mindset as 2014.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2016 it became an obsession. 2017, now it's just what he does because he already had a year of obsession, and the gap is so big that I think after that, it's just how much money can I make?
Well, at the end, I agree with that. Same thing. I totally agree with that. But like that year where you're talking about the obsession, like that obsession, like that's where these athletes are. That's why they're doing this stuff, and that's why they're going crazy about like we need to be
has that obsession.
There's an obsession of how can I survive in here, but I think at that point, I think he wanted to be the best, whatever the money was going to be.
So but like you said, 8th place versus the winner. I don't think you care about the money at all if you're in 8th place. Like let's think of who we're talking about. So Yonakoski. Is that fair? He's a good name. I know he didn't make the games this year, but I mean, he's
the reason I think he cares is because he knows he's not going to win. So how can he stay in the game and keep doing this? Which is exactly what Matt was doing in the beginning. Oh, I got $500 a week. I don't have to buy it. Okay, cool. I'll do this. I can't beat anybody. I can't beat those guys.
I
have to be in it for the
I think
money.
he's trying to be as fit as he possibly can, and like
Really?
the money is just whatever. I think because you don't make enough. It's not enough to even care about until you're 3rd place.
Well, then why do these athletes want to be professionalized? Because what do they think they're going to be getting? What do they? But what does that mean though? Like, what would they be getting that they could survive on? 100,000, 150,000?
They're not.
300,000?
They're not. It's way lower than that. It's whatever everybody thinks it is. It's way lower. That's why I asked y'all if y'all knew before the show. It's way lower than what everybody thinks.
Yeah. But to that point is that that's what's muddied this whole system. Right? And that's why I am positively looking at these other things. I was like, good, you take it. And then the CrossFit Games will just go back to being the thing. Right? The thing that started it all, the thing that everybody wants. They can lie to themselves all day. Right? But look at golf for an example, right?
Oh, geez, here we go. Back to
LIV
golf.
Tour. I'm just saying, here's an example, right? This is the example I'm trying to make.
Respect Tiger Woods, because they offered him like $1 billion.
You see his son got his first hole in one?
I did. And he said, no, I will not do that.
LIV Tour came in and just money. And they're just going to pay golfers whatever they want. And people jumped to that to make money and to continue to play golf. What happened on the PGA Tour? Did anything change? Did anything skip a beat? Did the ratings plummet? No.
Rory McIlroy's ratings went up.
There, okay, great. They got more opportunities, more money somewhere else. And then you look at
No, I'm saying because he stayed at the PGA.
Oh yeah, there you go.
He was all about it. He was all he had an ascension.
You're like, okay, you stayed, you're awesome, right? And I don't want to try to draw parallels between like athletes leaving or not leaving. I don't really care. And then you have like the U.S. Open Championship, which is everything people want to watch. Then you have the Open, which is over the British Open, but it's the Open. Right? Any people across the pond watching this, I get it. But what is the one golf event that everybody wants to go to and everybody wants to win every single year? The Masters. And that's what the CrossFit Games is. The CrossFit Games are the Masters. If you want a WFP league, you want your own LIV Tour to make money, go do it. Go have fun. Good on you. Great. If you want to do the Rogue Invitational, you want to do Dubai, Wadapalooza, great. More opportunities for you. But there will only be one CrossFit Games, and it will be the best thing that there is in the fitness space. Just like everybody wants to wear that green jacket, everybody wants the title of Fittest on Earth. And that's where the focus should be from the CrossFit Games from now on. You do not have to worry about trying to get more sponsors, to get more money, to get more people, just go back to having the most kick-ass process of finding the fittest person on earth from February to August. And then that will never change. And everybody will always want that.
And don't worry about the athletes. Just worry about this is your competition.
Man. Gosh.
They show up. They don't show up. That's on them. The
They
crowd
always have
will
that
not.
choice.
I promise you, if Jeff Adler, who is probably the fittest man on earth, right? If I know James has the title, but Jeff Adler probably is the fittest man on earth. If he's like, I don't want to do it, I'm going to do World Fitness Project. They give $200K. I'll do Rogue. They do $250K, whatever. He will not be liked because he does not, and he will not be called the fittest man on earth because he's scared of the CrossFit Games. And that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say he's scared to do the CrossFit Games or just do it.
Well, I'll just say he's not that he's scared. He might be, but he's not even scared. You can't have the title if you're not there.
Not saying Jeff Adler's going to do that.
If you want the green jacket, you can only get the green jacket if you go to the Masters. Period.
We should assign majors to the competitions. Because like we'd have Rogue, CrossFit Games, and then World Fitness Project, if the finals comes out and it's,
Sure.
big enough. I don't know if it will be, but if it's big
Well,
enough.
watch your finals.
And
They'll be
then,
like, cool. All right.
and then
Who won the world?
Wadapalooza,
Who won IF3? Great.
Mirham Bonner.
All right. Can you make the CrossFit Games?
No, she can't.
All right. Well, then better luck next year.
Yeah, I got on the Mirham train and she really, really let me down spectacularly.
Now I'm making it personal to Mirror and be like, who is the World High Rocks champion? Come on in. You really
Kelly.
think you're better, right? You really think you're the fittest person on earth. Greg said it best. Great. Prove it, because we have the best test to find it. And we have the easiest path to start. You don't have to be an elite athlete. You don't have to qualify. You just pay $20. You sign up. You try to kick ass for 3 to 5 weeks, one event every week, and then see if you can get to the next stage. And then it's on. And we'll see if you really are or not, because that's the whole point. The test is the test. It finds the fittest person on the planet. It is a faceless title every year. Everybody's got to start from zero, unless you're Tia. And so I'm fine with all these other things going on. There should not be any threat, but at the same time, there shouldn't be a claim the other way. But if you want to, great. Did you win it? All right. Hey, next year, 2025.
I do like looking at it from the perspective of this is a way to fund athletes' living where they don't need to worry about money as much and they can just focus on training.
Which is
the
what they all
CrossFit
want.
Games is always the CrossFit Games.
Exactly.
And then all these other things are all these other things. Like I like the idea of like this is great because it's giving them a way to make money.
That's what I'm hoping. See, but I'm being positive, people. Everybody thinks I'm like shitting on the WFP. I'm like, I'm not. Now, if they're like, we have the fittest on earth, I'm like, all right, whatever. Good luck. All right? There's only one claim to fame here. You got to go through this.
Well, even if you have an athlete, let's say Jeff did both.
Yeah.
Okay, and he wins the CrossFit Games and he wins the WFP. The WFP, just because Jeff wins that, doesn't mean, and even if he won the CrossFit Games, doesn't mean that.
Right.
He has
then it can turn into like freaking majors.
Triple Crown.
You know what I mean? Like all the stuff that's been thrown up, there probably should be one more. If it has like a system like this and wants to be as big as it is, like the CrossFit Games is the only other thing. I guess Rogue would be the other one. Rogue's probably the only thing that you could throw in for like a Triple Crown.
That's hard though, because that's an invitational.
You spelled it
other than like whatever 5 people or whatever.
There's you got 5 people. You got 5 shots, man. I mean, if freaking Manananganese can make it every single freaking year, you don't deserve to be there if you can't beat that girl. You know what I mean?
True that. I won't disagree with that.
But I think that'd be great. I think this could potentially be what the game season and team sport at CrossFit needs, is to just take this professionalization pressure off of their plate and just create the greatest test to find the fittest man and woman on earth. That's it.
It's a little like the cycling, because everybody knows the Tour de France, right?
Okay.
But there are 3 major tours in cycling that are all 21 stages. And one's in Italy and one's in Spain.
Yeah, the Tour d'Italia, is that another one?
Giro d'Italia.
Giro d'Italia.
Yeah,
okay.
and then the Vuelta de España. Nobody in America knows any of those, right? But in cycling, those are your 3 biggest things. And it's a big deal if you win any of them, like a really big deal. But the Tour de France is the Tour de France for a reason.
Totally.
Yeah. And it's because it was the oldest one. It was the very first one. It's the hardest one. All the things. Yeah, they all pay out kind of equal though. Like money wise, it's not a big difference.
But it's the tour like that.
But it's the Tour de France.
Yellow jersey.
Right.
Right.
Seth, do you guys think the title of Fittest on Earth should be a community census? No. I hate consensuses and I hate consulting the community. I hate consulting groups of people to determine one thing.
But that would be like
what we are doing.
Contest.
Well, that didn't happen. That didn't go over well earlier this year, right? This is the path we are on. You can come with us or you can do something else. No harm, no foul, right? But this is the path we are on. This is what we have decided. This is the title. And when people are like, oh, well, if the fittest people don't do the CrossFit Games, the person who wins next year is not the fittest.
You
I'm
still
like,
have the
yes,
title.
they are.
You have the title.
You have
could say,
the
this is
best
a great
team
year.
in the
This is a great
NFL
year.
doesn't always win the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
But guess what? The Super Bowl champion, the best team in the NFL, is the person who won that game. That's it.
The Giants beat Tom Brady.
The Giant twice.
Yeah.
And
and
they
like,
should
and you
have
still have the
never.
title. You could, and I'll buy the argument. This is a great year to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
One, I don't think Dave Castro has ever failed the programming as much as he did this year. So this is a good reason to talk about it because I don't think the test was very well balanced.
It was not.
But James has the title, and he will have the title the entire time until the CrossFit Games happens again of the fittest man on earth. Mm-hmm. Jeff Adler very well might be fitter. He does not have the title.
He wasn't there.
Until he gets the title, he doesn't have the title. James has the title. Even if somebody you might think is fitter, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have the title.
And these are other 2 points. Patrick Clark is saying the same thing as Hiller, which is weird to see. The actual test doesn't match the title of the fittest, and Hiller's like, what if the test is incomplete? Listen.
It doesn't matter.
Can we
Buster
just
Douglas has the heavyweight champion for one day. He did it for one day.
He chinned Mike Tyson. Listen, 2024, not every year is a winner. All right? Whatever. Okay?
He picked.
Go back and watch us what we just talked about in 2008.
This failure as a programmer.
Yeah.
Too.
But it is a valid question in the fact that if we are saying CrossFit and using our definitions to define who the fittest is, then you would think you would have to have a program that is going to adhere to that. Mm-hmm. The problem is that every time, look how many times that we've analyzed the program for the games. There are things that are missing at times. It doesn't change the fact that whether it is purely balanced or not,
mm-hmm.
it still is. That is the competition that's giving that particular title out when it happens. Yep. So when James won it, James won the title that it was given with those events that came out and the ones that didn't show up and all of the things with the people that were there or weren't there.
Right.
He still did the Boston Marathon in Boston.
Right. He's the winner.
He's the winner.
Hey, Jason Khalipa is the fittest man in 2008. And guess what? There was probably guys fitter than him there.
Yeah.
But because of the test given to them, and it's the CrossFit Games, Jason Khalipa has the title of the fittest man on earth. Yeah. Guys, he can hang on a pull-up bar with 80 pounds.
80 pounds.
I mean,
one-handed.
Guy's the fittest man on earth. None of the comments probably know what I'm talking about on that. But the 2008 is a good year too.
Anthony's already talking shit to you, John. The Tampa Bay Brigade is going to smash the Houston Hose in the United Grid League. Ooh, gosh, already name calling and everything.
Oh man,
John Young will be joining Planet Fitness after that beatdown. No, they're gonna. What's that button they press at Planet Fitness?
Lunk alarm.
Oh, the
lunks.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony, I hope you have a great year. Great. I am excited to play your team. I just hope the best. I hope you're at your fittest, and I'm at my fittest, and I just hope we all have a good time, man.
That just sounds so funny. Play your team. We're talking CrossFit-y stuff. This sounds so bizarre to me.
That's what they do.
I know, but it's.
I was going to say play grid. I'm like, why does that sound so?
I get it. Okay, play. Compete against your team.
There you go.
Is that better? Yeah.
That's better. That
all the best to you, Anthony. Good luck.
At the end of the day, I think the games need to get out of the business of being pushed to be a different sport because other sports do this for their athletes. There is nothing like the CrossFit Games in any sport. Nothing. There is no path to be the fittest person on earth or to be the best person in the world at the thing that you do that is as easy and open as the game season through a methodology of training.
This statement right here, Clock, it's the exact same thing we're talking about with the Boston Marathon. The title is given because that's the competition that the title came from. Olympic champion comes from when you win at the Olympics, not when you win at the world at the World Championship.
People get upset in the Olympics all the time.
Totally.
It doesn't matter.
But I understand what people are saying as far as like if the test isn't truly testing for the fittest, you could say that all the time. You could say that all the time, but whatever.
Where the best person in the world retires and they can still be better than the next person who won.
Ooh,
That's just an empty.
In 2004, do you really think Spain has the best basketball players of all time, or in the world?
Oh my God!
In 2004,
Dream
does
team?
Spain have the best basketball players in the world?
No.
Right? They have the title though. They won the gold medal. They did that. It does not. They still get that gold medal. You still have to say Spain was the best basketball team in 2004.
Yeah.
You have to say it because they did it. They won that. They did that. You should respect them for that.
Big Mom.
I think you got your own nickname for great.
Hey, the other thing is this. I mean, what does that do for?
How does he not get canceled for that? Huh?
He's talking about you.
Because you're not taking offense to that. That's why.
Incredibly hurt and offended by that. I got puffy nipples. It's 2024.
Hey,
I could
thanks,
be really
Larry.
hurt by that.
Papa Young. What that does though?
No, it's the first time I'm going out and saying Faith and Dave. He will give us a great complete test. Just sign up.
It puts the onus on CrossFit
and that
to adhere to. Hey, if we do what?
Not heavy enough.
That's a faithful CrossFitter right there. Because I'm saying, yes, Chase. Every single year I gotta listen to that for about 47 hours.
These weak baby arm, brittle leg CrossFitters out here. Pick up a barbell.
It does. If CrossFit wants to, if they want to give the title of that, then obviously they need to be thinking about, hey, we need to make sure we put together a good test. It's on them to do that. And yeah, there are going to be times when they fuck it up. And there are times that the events that are going to be like, that was a complete miss. And that happens sometimes. Yeah. But that's part of I do think that's part of the variance of whatever's happening. Not the randomness, but the variance and stuff. They're going to be like, the majority are usually pretty good as far as tests go and events go.
Man, I just had a thought. I don't know if I should put that out there. So, 2024 wasn't the best test. It was a mess from start to finish. And I'm talking outside of what happened with Lazar, just with athletes leaving and all that, right? And I think too many people are focusing on that year as if like that is the only sample size we have had of the CrossFit Games, right?
Yep.
Dave had been out of the game for a couple years. And do you ever wonder if like Matt, Tia, and Rich
spoiled us?
Not spoiled us in a sense, but maybe
bailed Dave out
a couple times.
100%.
Like 2015.
No, he didn't win that year. Ben won that year.
True, but that was like.
I think 2015 was a balance test. It was just
a lot of it
very, very hard. Like it was overkill.
And so it's almost like where you don't get complacent intentionally. You're just like, yep, this is a cool test. Everything's going great, and we know the fittest people are going to win. So we're all kind of off the hook both ways. Or the not focusing on like finding the fittest like lineup. Hey, is this the best top 10 that we have? It's like, no, well, Rich and Matt won, or Rich and Tia won, or Matt and Tia won. It's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that's happened, but like, I don't know, we've had some great years.
Yeah.
In their heydays.
I think generally speaking, there have been great years that have good events in them, and that are going the right way, and something that is outside the box. And sometimes those outside the box things hit well. And sometimes those were a complete miss.
True.
But that's part of also trying to be like, all right, so we don't want the test on the athletes to be something that like they just train every single day in the gym and it's the same normal stuff. So they're trying to come up. I see it as,
and everything was trying to come up inside last year.
Right.
For the first time ever.
And we talked about what that was going to look like.
I guarantee
and
what
it was going to do
stuff this year.
So
wherever we're at.
And I'm not trying to justify this last year. I mean,
no.
I am saying James has the title. I'm saying James is not the fittest. I'm saying that in reality, but he's got the title. I get it. I see what everyone is saying. I
just
understand.
don't like that argument is like, well, there's other fitter people that were
But
there.
they weren't there.
They do it, but the test is like, that's like, you
They
could
chose
pick
not
a
to do it.
sport, you pick a sport, pick a final, you say that for everything. I think that's just a waste of oxygen to just use that as your platform to argue against that.
No, I agree completely. You chose not to do it.
Yeah.
Gimmicks. Pat.
I thought Boz's programming was great, man. The double under crossover was the least amount of great. It was not great.
Right.
But I really liked Boz's programming. But I think Dave's programming I would say Dave's got like an 85% hit rate. I think that was a well-balanced test. There's some stuff I like, some stuff I didn't like, but obviously I have my own biases. But as far as I think that was a great test to test to find the fittest man on earth, man and woman on earth. I would say like an 85% hit rate.
Yeah.
But I don't think Boz had really good programming too.
I like that year.
Yeah.
Some things I was like, but we do it all the time. That's
what I mean. There's always something different because you have to try something different because the stimulus on these athletes,
semifinal programming, maybe not so much.
True. I'm not saying that they have been mistakes, but I mean, if we're talking the games for the most part.
No, I don't want to see that many box jumps.
Every single event, box jumps, coast bar, power snatches, every event.
But that's the thing, reps ahead, give the athletes another opportunity. Great. I'm all for it, right? I'm all for everyone else coming to rescue the professional CrossFit athlete, except the CrossFit Games. Give them the platform to perform, give them an opportunity to make a name for themselves and chase after the most coveted title in CrossFit, and that is the fittest man or the fittest woman on earth. That's what your focus should be on. And what's great with all these new things, and I'll say it one more time, is that now athletes should be able to get an opportunity to make a sustainable living for whatever it is that they want to do and give them opportunities to compete in person, train as much as they want, to get themselves set to hit the game season every year. And I just don't want to hear about money or sponsorships or anything from the CrossFit Games season ever again. It's like we are entering the Fittest portal and we're going to try and claim the title. And that is the only thing I want to talk about. It's the only thing I want to listen to. And it's the only thing I want to watch from February to August every year from now on. Go chase your payday somewhere else. It should not be the game's responsibility to pay you. They are giving you the opportunity to make something for yourself, and that should be the end of it. And I'm excited that all these other things are coming in play that will give these athletes opportunities to do that. So there should be a great relationship between the games and them as long as everybody knows where they stand in this ecosystem. So we start pissing in everybody's backyards when everybody starts to get pissed off. So that's my positive take on what this could be.
That was pretty positive.
I would love for there to be a Triple Crown prize.
How badass would that be?
How would we do that, though? How would we set that up? Because they're all separate entities. Rogue would not be hard. Rogue would work with you. But
it'd have to be something outside of that whole system.
That's what I'm saying. It can't be HQ. Like, it has to be just Greg Glassman, I guess, would give...
no way.
If you win all three, you get $1 million or something like that.
How awesome would that be?
Maybe we could say if you do a Triple Crown, we'll create a statue and put that outside of CrossFit HQ, and every Triple Crown winner gets their own statue. You could do that. You 100% could do that.
Or like a bust?
No, a statue.
Like
dude.
a Rocky
Not
statue?
a bust. Like yeah.
Like Rocky?
Yeah, like a Rocky statue. Yeah. Can you imagine if you had I know Guy ain't never gonna do it because he's not fit enough, but his statue would be that of him, like Jeff with the clean and jerk.
Will it look better than Dwayne Wade's statue?
I hope so. Depends who they play for. But that's something, I don't know how much statues cost, but that is something you can't tell me everybody would not love to have. You can't tell me Matt or Rich or Tia would not try to win the Triple Crown to get a statue.
I think all these so
that would
the
immortalize.
games being one, the WFP being the second, whatever the third one is, I think it shouldn't be a standalone event. It has to be like a.
There's not any others.
Isn't there whispers of another? That's it.
No.
There's not going to be another like qualifying league.
No.
So what do you pick? Rogue.
Rogue. You have to pick Rogue.
Okay.
It's the only one big enough. It's the only one that has everybody.
Okay.
Good in
So
it.
this now we're in horse racing, right?
Yes.
The first stage is the most watched one, and that's the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
That's the CrossFit Games, and then you got the Preakness and what's
the Belmont
and the Belmont Stakes, right? All right. Kentucky Derby, CrossFit Games. And you have the whole open, so you have this whole huge lead up. All right, you've got your games one. Now, next up, it's Rogue. You get your 20 invites. The winner gets to go there, top, right? All that matters is that the winner advances.
And then you get a statue outside of your affiliate. You have to have an affiliate.
You win Rogue, and then you're
You
in
don't
the
have an affiliate, you get no statue. That's just
Yeah,
one of the rules. I don't
you're
make
in
the rules.
WP championships.
Or you have it outside of headquarters. If we keep the games in one spot, you can put it outside of whatever ring. I guess you'd have to get like the city to agree with that, though. So, like, yeah, CrossFit headquarters. Then
I bet.
make a call, Chase. Make it happen.
Yeah. I guess everybody thinks I have way too much pull or power. Or
I have Boz's number, but he only answers me like 40% of the time.
For all your statues, you'd have to have a like a semi truck trailer that just brings them around to wherever the games are that year.
Yeah,
and they just like put a circle of champions right there in the
you
front.
think there's going to be a lot? How many people are even capable of winning the Triple Crown?
Right.
I think it's like I do think it's like horse racing. I don't think it would happen very often.
No.
I don't think. Okay, let me try to think. I don't think Rich would win it. I don't.
Well,
No, I know. I'm
just-
young.
I'm young. You are. My name.
And if you say yes, then there's only 3 people.
Sure. Well, and this goes back to our CrossFit Hall of Fame, Games Hall of Fame.
Champions, yeah.
Every year, just a pop-up tent, shadow boxes, jerseys, videos. Like, I think at the 20th anniversary of the CrossFit Games, they need to create a CrossFit Games Hall of Fame. 5 men, 5 women, and that could be a part of it, right? Here's the first person to win the Triple Crown of Fitness.
And the board should be the locker room. It's a diverse group. All have different thoughts.
True. Thoughts and experiences.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all I got. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. I'm actually excited. And I feel like people should be able to, take a breath, take a step back, and just listen to, like, everybody's going to get what they want. And I think we can get back to the grassroots of what the CrossFit Games have always been and will always be, the most coveted title in all of fitness.
Yeah, guys, let us not be unburdened by what has not come to pass.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow. That was very almost biblical, John. Let us not be where your
Like I started that sentence
back
and
to
I
your
did
origins,
not know
Chase.
where I was going.
Like,
I was
you had
gonna
a
try to
little
find
bit
it.
of Kamala Harris mixed in with like Galadriel from Lord of the Rings. If those things that have not yet come to pass.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Frodo, let's take a seat. I'm going to send us out with that awesome video that we started with. Guys, Merry Christmas. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Thank you guys for joining us. WFP, hope you guys crush it. Be a source of inspiration and support for these athletes to professionalize their own careers. And may the CrossFit Games be ever finding the fittest person on the planet.
This is more than just a competition of athletes. This is a competition of training methodologies. It is the sport of fitness.
We claim to title the fittest on earth, and we can do that because we as a fitness methodology have defined fitness.
And Rich Froning is the fittest man on the planet.
The men and women competing here today have legitimate claim to the title Fittest Men and Women on Earth by the same rights and logic that the Lakers, the Steelers, the Penguins, and the Phillies are the best basketball team, football team, hockey team, and baseball team on earth.
No one else is testing fitness, and at this point, no one can make a claim.
People that just come into CrossFit are like, oh, next year I'm going to the games. Kids don't go shoot free throws and think, oh, I'm going to the NBA next year.
There are people that say that this isn't a test, that there are people out there fitter than the people competing here today. Great. Prove it.
As the crowd races to their feet.
You guys are for a final stretch.